Hey, good morning. It's Linda again from Inner Kid Keto. Glad to see you. Thanks for coming back. Or if this is your first time here, you might feel the urge to go back to story 1, 2, and 3 because we're doing a series, but you're certainly welcome either way. Today's topic is shine your light. I have my inner child doll up here, little Linda, and she's wearing burlap, and so am I. And I can tell you, when I've had deeper issues and fears about shining my light, about hiding my shame, my pain, my agony, whatever it was that caused me to overeat for most of my life, a lot of my life, I didn't want to look pretty. I didn't want to be visible. I didn't want to be seen. But that's changing. I'm going to encourage you to shine your light before you feel ready, before it feels good, before it's easy. So right now I'm going to shine mine. I'm taking off this burlap. This no longer serves me. Okay, there it goes. Yep. And I put on my shiniest, brightest little outfit, my little shiny Christmas outfit, so I could be really shining light today. There are many ways to shine your light. It can be just your smile, your friendly voice, opening a door for someone, helping someone, listening to someone, being there for someone, or sharing your talents. One of the things I've done more in recent years is I've started painting. I made a picture of Jesus, turned them into postcards. I leave them on bulletin boards. I send them in the mail. This is kind of a modern looking Jesus. I also made one of Jesus in overalls because why not? A modern Jesus. And then I made one of me and my husband, soulmates. We were going through a tough patch in our marriage, and this was my affirmation for us to make it. It was about 15 years ago. I don't know, we're going on 30 years now. So I just made it as one heart. Shine your heart light. Probably most of you have seen the movie E.T. If for any reason you haven't, it's a must because it's shine your heart light. Neil Diamond wrote a song about it. Turn on your heart light. So that's what today's about. I've had the wonderful opportunity to learn about Marshall B. Rosenberg, who wrote a book, Nonviolent Communication. And here's a quote for him. Time and again, people transcend the paralyzing effects of psychological pain when they have sufficient contact with someone who can hear them empathically. I'm going to repeat that. Time and again, people transcend the paralyzing effects of psychological pain when they have sufficient contact with someone who can hear them empathically. One of the most important things we can do in our journey towards wholeness and recovery from food addiction is re-people our lives. In the 12-step program, that's one of the things they talk about is the purpose of meetings is to re-people, because we tend to isolate. Those of us with addiction issues tend to isolate. So my encouragement to you is to re-people. Very soon we're going to be building a community here with life coaches and feelings coaches and meetings and opportunities. As you begin to show up, sign up, and be part of our community, we will be creating places for you to read people. And maybe by the time you're looking at that, these are already there, but I'm doing this on the 4th day, and so don't have any illusions, it's not fully in place, but we definitely see it coming. Oh, shining your light, that is often scary. Now, there's even a Bible verse about this. I'm going to read this one. It's Psalms 30:11. You have turned my mourning into dancing for me. You have removed my sackcloth and clothed me with gladness. I'm going to ask you to find some gladness. Create some gladness. Be glad. Find something beautiful. There's a book called The Secret Door to Success by Florence Scovel Shinn. I've probably read it 5 times. It's basically a prosperity book, but it's a life book too. And she has many stories in there about people who are going through hard times. And this woman in the book was having problems not feeding her children, and something in Florence counseled her. And she says, okay, if you want to open the flow, you have to give something. And the woman says, I have nothing to give. And Florence says, we always have something to give. And so the woman looked out into her yard and saw some flowers blooming on a bush. And she took the flowers to a neighbor. And within a few hours, the doors opened. Always have something to give. Many people need to be listened to. Many people need to be checked in on. Loneliness is an epidemic in our world right now. When I was a kid, before so much streaming, phones and all that, you would sit down and have dinner around the table with your relatives, and there would be talk and listening. Now, I'm not gonna tell you all of my life I had that, because I obviously didn't. I had some dark times. But at my grandmother's house, on holidays and weekends, there was usually a meal around a table where people made eye contact and listened. See if you can start creating a community where you can eat with people, look at people, talk to people. All right? I'm not pushing, I'm just inviting you to consider it. Look for a way to give something today. Whether it's writing a letter to your congressman, writing a postcard to a friend you haven't talked to in 6 months, making an apology to someone that you know you hurt their feelings and they haven't called you back. You will always, if you're interested, if you really want to, find a way to do that. So the whole point of this is to shine your light. I'm going to have my little Linda up here in her sackcloth, and I'm going to put a little red flower on her so she can shine more light, because she is kind of like my alter ego in this story. Take a little extra time today with how you're looking and see if that doesn't translate in how you're feeling. Put it out there. Reach out. I dare you. I invite you. If it's been 24 hours since you communicated with anyone, communicate now. I don't care if it's an email, postcard, knocking on the neighbor's door and say, would you like to come over for a cup of tea? Take a risk. When I was a kid, I was the shyest kid in school. I had no social skills at all. But I grew up in the generation where we read Dear Abby. And Dear Abby was a little newspaper column, and Abby would give advice. And somebody wrote in and said, I'm shy. What's the cure? And Abby said this, and I've used it successfully from then on. Abby says, ask a person 3 questions. I thought, ask them 3 questions. What are the 3 questions? She says, it doesn't matter. Any 3 questions. Do you come here often? Do you like the band? Where'd you get that ring? She says, no one can resist someone showing that much interest in them. Loneliness and shyness is self-absorption. I don't want to put a heavy negative label on it, but it's time to reach out. Someone needs your voice, your interest, your listening, your smile. Now, I'm not encouraging you to get enmeshed with someone who only talks and won't listen to you. It needs to be a give and take. There's got to be balance. But re-people your life, shine your light, dress up a little. If you're a lady, put on your makeup, whatever. Make a little more effort today, because making that effort signals to your inner self, to your inner child, I matter. I'm valuable. We've only maybe got, I don't know, 80,000, 100,000 days on the planet. Let's make the best of them. You know, we had to choose to be here. Not everybody gets to come to Earth. It's jump in. It's Earth School. It's a place for growth. I'm not going to tell you it's all easy. It isn't. You won't learn anything if you don't grow, will you? Little babies, if they put them on a stairway, they develop their muscles by gently pushing up the stairs. They have to make the effort to go up the stairs. Even learning to walk, they have to do the cross crawl so that the right and left brain integrates. Movement matters. I'm encouraging you to move and to communicate and to reach out. And you might go and look up this wonderful Rosenberg. I'm going to say it once more. His book is Nonviolent Communication, but he has many others. And there are workshops with his stuff. He's really amazing. Time and again, people transcend the paralyzing effects of psychological pain, which many of you have had, when they have sufficient contact with someone who can hear them empathically. Do you know that I attend 6 meetings a week? Group meetings about feelings. 6 a week, almost every single day. And I've done that for years. It has made a huge difference in my wholeness, in my happiness, in my healing, and my recovery from loneliness. Now, loneliness is not that you don't know anyone, but that no one knows you. I want you to risk being known. And there's another little thing I'm going to mention about this. I learned this at a college class way back in Western Washington State College up in Bellingham. We had a guest speaker, and he talked about, don't remember his name, but he was significant. He says, don't do fingertip talk. I saw, I did, how's the weather? Don't do elbow talk. Hey, I like that game. He says, do heart talk. I need, I love, I feel. Get real. So if you're out there on fingertip talk, how's the weather? That's not connecting. If you're feeling lonely, it's because you're not connecting. And you're signaling to people, I don't want to connect. I want to keep it light. I'm terrified of feelings. I'm not telling you to put your feelings all over God's creation, bleed all over the floor with people who can't hear you or can't care. I'm encouraging you to find safe places to connect. We are going to be building those safe places here. We'll be having very soon programs where you can get involved and connect with others who feel like we do. And that is all I got to say about that. But for right now, have a blessed and beautiful day. Feed yourself love first. You matter. And thanks for lighting up my life and showing up today. See you tomorrow. Bye.